everybody, it's Calxiyn here, and I need to read you the intro because we have lots of new Patreons. Let me say thank you to, Silver-Eyed Warrior Ash Carlton, Headmaster Frankie, Huntsman Swift, Huntsman Justin, Huntsman Sunny, Huntsman in Training Emmy Catch, and new recruits Saul, Sophie, Mindpiece Peter, Totally, Wade, Rage Factor 13, Rooter, and Jess, and $100 patron Alex Wise. Okay, everyone, hopefully that pre-recorded intro is still there, because we're not going to do one. So today, we are doing a video, that is a theory that one of Jaune's sisters is the Spring Maiden, and his 7 sisters are based on the 7 ravens. Oh boy, that's a title. Are you playing Jaune?
Yes, I am now.
Okay, so I'm gonna read you the theory as usual, and, we're gonna get into it. It's gonna be fun. Okay. So, Jaune has 7 sisters of the Tales by the Brothers Grimm, the 7 Ravens. Okay. That was a great opening line, since now we know that this person has an error right at the beginning of their Tumblr post.
I mean, they also know we steal these from Tumblr, so...
Anyways.
You can go in this direction.
A man who wished to have a daughter was in...
Do other people know about this? Have I discovered something? I've discovered something. Anyways,
a man who wished to have a daughter was instead...
Would you like me to talk more over you? I think you would.
Was instead granted with 7 boys. However, much to his delight, his 8th child turned out to be a girl. However, the poor child was born weak and thus was given a quick baptism. The father sent the 7 sons for water due to their childish games. The kids broke the jug, and they had failed to bring the water for their only little sister, whose weak constitution threatened her life.
My sister's gonna die! Let's play tag!
Enraged, the father turned his 7 sons into ravens, and they flew far away from home. Years later, the sister's constitution... Maybe they mean condition? Okay, improved when she became very beautiful, but the guilt of knowing that her brothers were turned into ravens because they had failed to help her was too much for the girl. With guilt as her motivation, the sister goes on a quest to find her brothers, breaks the curse, and bring them back home. Quite a premise, right? Now I'm gonna write how this premise can relate to my headcanons for Jaune's past. Here we go. Jaune is literally a gender swap character, so his sisters might be the same. Team Juniper is living proof that Monty's imagination was never bounded by gender. It's plausible for Jaune to be the youngest sister of the story, while his sisters are the 7 sons. The reason why the sister goes on the quest is due to her guilt because it was her weak constitution that caused hair father, I guess, like, okay, hair father to snap.
You get it, alright.
It snapped to turn her 7 brothers into ravens. We know that the reason why Jaune went to Beacon, even though he wasn't ready, is because he's so desperate to become stronger so that he can stop being the damsel in distress and start being the hero who can protect the people he loves. The sister's constitution improved when she became a beautiful woman. This alludes to how Jaune is starting to get stronger in the series.
He's pretty hot, let's be real.
And there has been a lot of foreshadowing about him having a badass semblance. Knowing the basis of the character Jaune, then it will not be weird.
Though? People just don't know, and I get murdered as you talk about how
Hunter is playing, by the way. But she's saying based on the source material, right? Based on Jaune's source material, he's pretty strong.
I'm glad to know what else is in this game so they don't have to see my shame.
The father turns the 7 sons into ravens. There are several versions of this with different explanations. Some say it was an accident, others say it was punishment, but at the end it was the father's fault. What I find very interesting is how despite Jaune has 7 sisters, he's the only one who inherited the weapons of his family. Granted, he could have stolen them, but that means the weapons were in storage and did not belong to anyone. Why didn't his father give these weapons to one of the daughters? Or is it possible that the mother was the one who didn't let Jaune train and kicked the daughters out in the gender reversal of the story?
Matriarchy!
After reading these points, I'm pretty sure you figured out what my theory is. The reason why Jaune wants to become a huntsman is to gain enough strength to be capable of going on a quest to save his sisters and bring them back home. However, his father or mother refused to let him go for his own reasons, and that's why he never trained Jaune, knowing that if he did, he would go in search of his sisters. But the guilt he felt was too much, and he ran away from home, took the family weapons with him at the first chance he had. What happened to his sisters was his fault. Jaune was too weak when he was younger, and his sisters were turned into ravens. while they protected him. Filled with guilt, this served as the motivation and also what turned Jaune into a very protective person. Alright, and so this, I think this is a reblog. I don't know how Tumblr works. But now, that's the first part of the theory. Somebody else has replied to this with more stuff. So as a shadow, Jaune's 7 sisters are connected to Raven or working with her, and one of the sisters is Raven's powerful ally who happens to be the Spring Maiden. Yes, one of Jaune's 7 sisters is the Spring Maiden. Let's be real, given that Jaune has 7 sisters, it was always likely a possibility that one of them would be a maiden connecting to the plot. I mean, I don't know, like numbers-wise, maybe, I guess.
Oh, come on, I totally... Sure.
It would be possible that Jaune's connection to Pyrrha, it'd be possible given Jaune's connection to Pyrrha and the current maiden. They're saying that it's a spring one. This paragraph isn't written very well, I'm sorry. And coincidentally, Tyrion is interested in Jaune, and Tyrion was recently on the hunt for the Spring Maiden. Maybe that's the reason why Tyrion is interested in Jaune, because he can tell that Jaune is related to the Spring Maiden. Or it's possible that Tyrion was interested in Jaune for another reason. Either way, if one of Jaune's sisters is revealed to be a Spring Maiden, it would put the scene in a new light for some fans and cause people to think that Tyrion was interested in Jaune, because if that wasn't the reason, Jaune's sisters being the Spring Maiden would be a good red herring. Also, this would mean one of the people Jaune loves in his family would be a target for Salem and Tyrion being on the prowl. So that is basically the entire theory that these two people have made. So what are your thoughts, Hunter, before I talk?
Well, I mean, I think the likelihood that just because you have 7 girls doesn't immediately, like, you know?
Yeah, and plus they're back in Vale, aren't they? Like, as far as we know.
Or wherever, you know.
But I like the idea, but he said in the show, though, that when you have 7 sisters, you learn things like this, referring to his dancing. So obviously they were around for a good chunk of his life. But I have an idea that would make this kind of better, and maybe. So basically, my idea is that the Raven story can still exist, but it's more of a metaphor. And what I mean by that is that instead of them literally turning into ravens, the father turned them away so much that they decided to go with Raven's clan. And obviously, we know that Raven can turn into an actual raven. So that may be... You're not playing as Jaune. So that may be some hinting at, I guess, the sisters' origins. Like, if we're... Say that's true, that the sisters are based off this Raven story. I don't think they're actually going to be turned into ravens. But I think that instead, they would... you know what I'm saying, right? Instead, they would just be a part of Raven's clan, and so that would be enough of a metaphor for their source material if this is indeed what Monty intended for them to be based off. If we even ever see them. I've never thought about Jaune's sister that much.
Yeah, I think he has other priorities.
As far as Tyrion being interested in Jaune, though, I think that part's interesting. That may hold some weight.
Didn't Tyrion say something kind of gay towards
I don't
Jaune?
remember.
Don't you remember that? Didn't he say something like, "And I like you too"? I just took that as
kind of like that.
I just took that as like Tyrion being like, "Oh, Tyrion's kind of got a thing for blondes."
I think though, here's what I think, that in relation to this theory, that
How
line.
How disappointed would you be if Tyrion was the gay character?
I don't know.
Christ.
Anyways, that's nice. We'll talk about that.
We'll
talk about that.
Could he use that tail in, like, anyways?
Hunter, okay. So, more about Jaune's sisters. I think that would be interesting. You know what I mean? Like, Hunter, you gotta go up to it. You can't just shoot at the air.
I just like it, you know?
Okay.
Anyways.
I think that it would be interesting for Tyrion to have said that because, oh, funny that you should be here. I just tried to kill your sister. You know what I mean, Hunter? Did you hear what I just said?
Something about killing my sister.
Yeah, like if Tyrion was like, oh, you know, funny you should be traveling with RWBY. I'm about to kill your sister. You know what I mean?
That would be a twist.
At the same time, I don't think that Jaune's sisters are important to the plot. So do I think they're the Spring Maiden? No. I do like the Raven story, though. I like the idea that Jaune's sisters somehow got into, like, a dispute with their father or something because Jaune, maybe, like, Jaune's parents are really sexist, and so they were like, no, none of you can fight, even though there are like 7 of you, and you're probably more of a badass than Jaune, so we're gonna give our youngest, weakest son the family weapons, and like, you know, that stuff. And so maybe they were like, well, fuck you, Dad, and they went with Raven, because obviously Raven leads the tribe, and we don't know the details of the tribe exactly, but there's you said matriarchy or something before, like there's obviously a woman in power there, and so maybe, like, Remnant, as far as we know, don't have any gender problems, but at the same time,
well,
you have to wonder how Jaune got the family weapons and shit. Like, unless he did steal them, like that OP, like, you have to wonder why.
They're family weapons, but as, like, RWBY kind of mentioned at the beginning, they're like, oh, that's not a gun. They're kind of lame.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe.
So maybe people just like, yeah, sure, like, they helped his ego a bit, you know? Like, yeah, you get the family weapons.
Yeah, maybe. But I also I do like the idea, though, that, like, because Jaune's the guy of the family, they really, really want him to, like, be kind of the carrier of the family legacy, even though all these girls are here and they're badasses, and so instead of literally being turned into Ravens, they instead join Raven's clan, and they're like, fuck you, Dad.
I don't see that. Like, there doesn't...
I mean, neither do I. Like, I'm just saying that if this theory has to happen, that's the way that I would want it to. I don't see them doing that in the show. Like, I don't think this theory is realistic.
What I kind of liked about RWBY in regards to its female characters, that oftentimes, like, it'll make a point of female characters being inept. Or rather, so being
and so wouldn't that be
and so with RWBY characters, it doesn't have to do that. It's just like, yeah, they're girls and they're good at what they do, and they never really bring it up because it's expected in that world. You feel me?
Yeah, I guess.
So I feel like the idea...
Are you gonna kill those 2 Grim Hunters?
No, honestly, I'm jumping in between the shadows. I realized that I was doing that whilst being filmed, and I'm like, that's bizarre. Why is Hunter doing that? Hunter doesn't even know. Anyway.
But yeah, like, I don't know. If the Raven story, like, if this part of the story has to happen, I want them, maybe it's not for a gendered reason, but I want them to be like, no, Dad, like, F you, and then, like, run to Raven's tribe. Like, that's the important key part here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know why they would do that.
It's not a phase, Dad!
The thing is that I think, what people have missed here is what is connecting them is the fact that Raven knows where the Spring Maiden is. That is why a lot of people think...
Does she?
Yeah.
That's not explicitly said.
Well, Crow asked her about it.
Oh,
remember?
Does she? Okay.
Crow's like, hey, where's the Spring Maiden? And she's like, where's the relic, you bitch? Like, you know, they're having this kind of conflict. She knows where the Maiden is, he has the relic, right?
I wanted to rewatch RWBY Volume 4, but Cal was like, no, so I'm a little rough.
Not
it's been a while.
Yet. But, anyway, I think that that's an interesting part to it, like, to have here, is because if they are based on this 7 Raven story, it would make sense that they are with Raven's tribe, and that's why one of them is the Spring Maiden, because Raven knows where the Spring Maiden is. You know what I'm saying? That, like, this all connects itself very well. If Jaune's sister is the Spring Maiden, it would kind of, it makes sense in my head that they would go with this the 7 Raven story, because for, like, even if they don't literally turn into ravens, for, like, the metaphorical part of this story, like, I think I really like it, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's really kind of clever, almost, to be able to use the Grimm fairy tale, but at the same time not rip from it so exactly that it looks like a blatant ripoff. Instead, it's more of a symbolic thing where they have turned into ravens, plural. But instead of ravens, plural, it's Raven, apostrophe S, as in Ravens, tribe members, instead of just Ravens. If you guys know what I mean, maybe I should put, like, some text on screen with the difference between the Ravens means that pronoun is like she owns something. She owns them, while ravens would just be a group of ravens. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I like that idea.
This has been grade 4 English with Cal.
You know what I haven't said in a while? I haven't said, like, from a writer's perspective. Like, yeah. I lost that a while ago. You guys...
Well, because we stopped doing reviews of Volume 4.
I guess.
When Volume 5 comes around, I'll hear a lot of, well, from a writing perspective, Hunter.
But you know what I mean, right? Like, it would just, I don't know, like, it makes me tingle a little bit, like, how clever it is. Yeah! Tingle? Like, I like good storylines.
Really?
You know what I mean? Yeah, like...
Tingle! Yeah. There are so many words out there, and you chose tingle?
Yeah, it's just like, because you know when you find something like really, really good.
I wish I enjoyed
you know
books
I mean?
as much as you did.
Like,
Christ.
exactly.
I've never tingled before.
It gives me a warm feeling inside.
God, that's sad. That's so sad.
No, because it's just, I don't know. I think it's like clever.
Oh no, I thought I pressed circle. Alright.
It's just like, I don't know, it's clever to me that instead of like literal ravens, they're metaphorical ravens. No, is that not cool?
I mean,
am I just a nerd?
Sure.
Like,
I mean, yes,
I don't
you
know.
are, but
okay.
that's not really
what
the
do you
point.
think? Are you done making fun of me now? Because that's really all I have to say. Like, I don't think that this theory is probable, but like, some of the points of this theory, they make me feel good.
It's an interesting theory. I would hope that we get, you know, to see John's family, even if it's like this is the end of the season and you get to see like
everyone's family going home to each other.
And everything.
Oh my god,
it's
so
okay.
Jaune walks up to his house and he's like battered from the battle and his parents come to hug him because even though they've been disappointed in him all his life, he's finally like saved the world.
Like it's at the end of Full Metal Alchemist where you see like, oh, that's them all grown up and that's their kids and stuff, you know?
Yeah.
It's like that, except, you know, I referenced an anime you've never watched.
Anyway, I think that we're pretty much done here. I hope that you guys enjoyed this one. That's basically kind of all that I have to say about that. And now I'll take you guys to the Patreon outro, so I'll see you later. Bye! Alright guys, now to end the video, I hope that you guys enjoyed. Let me say thank you to my patron Silver-Eyed Warrior, Ash Carlton, Headmaster Frankie, Huntsman Swift, Huntsman Justin, Huntsman Sunny, Huntsman in Training, Emicat, New Recruit Saul, Sophie, Mindpiece, Peter, Totally, Wade, Raid Factor 13, Rooter, and Jess.